4D knife through an aquarium nail. So the nail itself is an aquarium just with some red and black glitter floating through it, and then there's just a knife that goes through it. This design is incredibly easy as far as this type of style goes. Everything is done, it's pretty basic. There's no little detail or find this or that. It's all just done with acrylic color. There's no painting done on it. Like I said, it's pretty basic. And this is actually a recreation of a design that I did several years ago, and I kind of updated the style of aquarium and just modernized it slightly, mainly in terms of how the aquarium is made. So I hope you guys like this as much as I do. If you are curious for that original video, I can put a link to it in the description box below, and I will see you next time. Bye! To start out this nail, I'm going to blend some red acrylic down so that it masks where the top of the aquarium is, and it kind of blends out so that you can't see the natural nail. Just going to blend that down and then encapsulate the rest of the nail with a layer of clear acrylic. You can keep this relatively thin. This nail has some built-in strength on the bottom just from the aquarium. There's just some extra bit of structure that happens. So you can keep this relatively thin. Still build in your apex and all that great stuff, but just keep it in mind that it can be a little bit thinner. Then file the nail into shape with your e-file, trying to smooth it out best you can. It is a very long nail, so a hand file may help too. Now I'm going to sculpt a large flat area of clear acrylic on a nail form backing, working quickly so that it doesn't accidentally cure up before I'm ready for it, and then press your nail into that wet acrylic so that you're creating a wall on the back of the nail. After you're done with that, you're going to let that cure, set it to the side, and then trim off the extra acrylic with a manicure scissors. Don't use one that you use on people for cuticles or anything else. Just have a special scissors made or that you have for this type of grunt work. After you trim off all the extra, try to cut a half circle that's about the C curve of the back of your nail, and after you cut it, you may have to hold it up to see how it fits and trim it again, but this is to make the top side of the aquarium. So you've got the 4 walls. The first wall is the actual nail, the second wall is that bit that we made on the nail form backing, and then we've got the top and the bottom to make the 3rd and 4th walls. So we're going to just keep trimming that down until it's the right size. After it's about the right size, you're going to apply some nail glue into that space so that it can, once you set it down there, it will stay in place. And then after you let that cure for just a moment, or for the nail glue to dry, you're going to grab some more of your clear acrylic and fill all the holes. I actually saw, or you'll see this later, but I missed a hole and there was a little space in there, so it was leaking for a minute later on. But try to fill all the holes best you can. Then apply or fill that in with a red glitter mix. Mine actually had some red and black circles in it, which I liked that combination. It was a little darker and I thought it looked nice. We're going to glue a bottom piece onto our aquarium after you put the glitter in. So put some nail glue down, glue that, secure it with clear acrylic yet again. At this point, you might be thinking, how do you get the water in there or the oil in there? We're going to drill a little hole. I think it's just slightly easier to make it fully filled in and then create another hole instead of trying to leave a hole, because it sometimes gets filled in anyway, so you might as well just, do it later. But we're going to just file this into shape again with a hand file, smooth it all out. It's a little rough here and there just from where you added those other pieces, and then take a skinny little e-file bit and drill a small hole in the bottom of your nail. Fill a syringe with water or oil, your preference. Water, the pieces might move a little quicker. Oil, the pieces might move a little slower and have a slightly more lava lamp-esque feel. Then you're going to fill your aquarium. Can you guys see my leaky drip on the bottom there? I'm going to fix that, obviously. I'm going to dry it, apply some clear acrylic over where the leak was, and then continue on my way filling the aquarium. Once it is filled all the way up to the top, dry off the place where the hole was, and then plug the hole. Now on a nail form backing, we're going to be sculpting the knife blade with silver acrylic. So we're going to just pat out a long skinny bit of that silver acrylic, trying to get this blade to look nice and sharp. We want it to be rather vicious, think chef knife. And then after you have that first bit of the knife done, you're going to take a craft blade and cut it. So cut the blade not in half. You want to have more of the knife towards the point and less towards the handle, because we still have to add the handle, and it'll look a little bit, disproportionate if you have too much of the blade above and not very much of the blade below the nail once we go to assemble it. I'm going to add a little bit more silver acrylic just to kind of fill out the shape of the blade a little bit more. Once you're happy with that, then you're going to switch over and grab your black acrylic, or you could even do like a dark brown or whatever color you want the blade of your knife to be, or the handle of your knife to be rather, and you're going to sculpt that. So place that bead down, bring it out, look at the shape of a knife handle. They have some of them have slightly an ergonomic look to them so that it's more comfortable to use. And we obviously want whoever murdered this boar nail to have a comfortable time using the knife to stab the aquarium. We're going to just kind of build that up so it has a little bit more height. It's not quite as paper thin as the knife blade is. It has much more of a feel to it. Add the little rivets with silver acrylic. If you don't want to use silver acrylic for this, you could also use little caviar beads. They would be very cute, or even just a dab of white paint. You're going to glue the half of the knife with the handle on the top of the nail, so that the side that you cut with the craft blade is touching the nail. And then after you have that piece glued, flip the nail over and then glue the other half of the blade to the other side, holding it so that you can see where you're gluing it so it looks like the knife goes straight through the nail. You don't want it to be offset or crooked or anything. You want to try to line up as perfectly as you can get it. And then you're going to make sure that all of this is secured together with some more of your silver acrylic. So you're going to fill in any gaps between the blade and the nail and just make sure that everything is nicely attached. It doesn't take too much of that silver acrylic, but it does take just a little bit, tiny beads of it, to make sure that that isn't going anywhere. And once you have that done, your knife is not quite finished on the other side of the handle. So you're going to flip that over, apply another layer of black acrylic over the top to build up the shape of the handle. Again, we want it to be nice and ergonomic feeling to hold. And then after you have that done, sort of pat it into shape. Then you're going to take your silver acrylic and add those little tiny bits as the rivets holding this whole thing together. Once you're done, you can apply a layer of gel top coat over the nail and then over the knife blade. You don't necessarily want to do the knife handle, but just the blade is fine. You don't actually have to do anything to the knife handle unless you apply any sort of a paint to it. As long as you don't paint it, then it is, good to go just as it is. The acrylic doesn't require any top coat. And this nail is done. Once it's top coated, top, bottom, sides, ends, all of that great stuff, it is complete and it is so cool to look at. This is a remake of a past video that I did several years ago. That was one of the first times I really did anything crazy like this. And it has always been one of my favorites, and it's been a fan favorite of other people as well. And I just wanted to remake it and do it with the new type of aquarium that I've been doing, with the well in the back instead of on top. And I think it makes the whole nail look a little bit more sleek and just, I don't know, it's just so cool with the knife going through it. I hope you guys love it as much as I do. If you did miss that original video and you want to see how they compare, I will put a link to it in the description box below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!